Hello, hello. Welcome. Confidence Through Cabaret. I'm Heather Jean. I'm so excited to be here sharing notes from our latest podcast episode. You find the podcast on Confidence Through Cabaret, anywhere you get your podcasts. You'll also find all of our socials on Confidence Through Cabaret. So Facebook, we have a very active community. ConfidenceThroughCabaret.com. We have amazing masterclasses from just some superb people. We also have some workshops, workbooks to be able to really take action to increase your confidence in your personal life, your work life, and your stage life, whatever your stage is. And our vision really at Confidence Through Cabaret comes from, well, first of all, my training background is as a leadership training consultant for over 25 years. I've had my own business. I've also been a facilitator, a motivational speaker, and a career and confidence visibility coach for over 25 years. So a lot of the work comes from, my own experience and the experience of others that I've gathered. I really do pride myself on having 25 years or more than 25 years of experience rather than 1 year experience 25 times. And I think there's a fundamental difference there. There's a richness in what people have shared with me that I can share with others. And so there's a lot of passion and support to creating confidence in our communities and in our social media. I also am a cabaret performer, and my preference is in around aerial and burlesque. And I have found that in business, there are some principles that are exactly the same as what we would do on stage. In other words, owning our space, sharing our message, raising our voice to a level where we are heard and we're coming across in the way that we want to. And so in this latest podcast episode with Ruth Alade, I am so pleased and proud of our conversation because Ruth and I are so aligned in our ideals and our values. So go and check out the podcast episode. But I wanted to share some of the key things that Ruth and I discuss because there really are important messages. The first one is that you choose how you respond or how you approach something. It is a choice. Nobody makes you do something. We talk a lot about this in Confidence Through Cabaret. Nobody makes you do something or not do something. It is very much a choice. In my own personal life, I've had to make a lot of tough choices, leaving an abusive marriage, being a single parent, staying and taking on full-time care of my second and now late husband with Alzheimer's. Staying in the UK with my husband instead of being able to, or my late husband, instead of being in Canada to look after my aging parents. And that those choices haven't been easy. Those choices are a huge part of my own kind of healing, and they inform my confidence, and at times it's knocked it and at times it's really strengthened it. And when we talk, Ruth and I are talking on this podcast episode, we're talking about, in her case, showing up, being able to communicate with a stutter, and wondering, are people going to listen to me? Are people going to trust me? Are people going to believe that I know what I'm talking about when I can't talk about it in a fluent kind of way? And I think, we all have our own imposter voice and our own limitations that we believe hold us back. And one of the things that Ruth shares with us is about, being willing to fail. And I think we're taught to try and avoid failure. Certainly the education system is often set up that way, where we're taught to avoid failure, instead of saying, what did you learn from that? I know that's certainly how I've tried to parent is, okay, so that hasn't gone well. What have you learned from that? And how do you move forward from that? But if we all did that, if we really lived it, then we would be much stronger and much more powerful. And Ruth shares in this podcast episode, on Confidence Through Cabaret, she shares with us how she had to take a break, step away from it to be able to move away from comparing herself to others. I think the other thing is that when we have those imposter voice moments, it can cause us to shrink. And that's one of the fundamental things in Confidence Through Cabaret, is that we talk about owning your space, taking up space. And it's what drew me to cabaret, more than most other areas. Cabaret could be singing, could be dancing, could be burlesque, could be drag, could be contortion, could be comedy, could be all kinds of any kind of form of entertainment in a small live venue. And that's what drew me to it, was that I was taking up space in my work life, but not in my personal life. I was faking it. I was going through the motions, and people were saying, "Oh, you're so confident," but I didn't feel it or believe it. And let's listen to a clip where Ruth shares with us her views on, confidence being a practice.
It just goes to show that sometimes we don't need to just sit in a corner and wait for the confidence to come, right? We have to decide that we're doing this, and then the confidence, and there's this thing that my coach says about bringing in courage. Like you bring in courage, even though you may not be feeling confident, but use courage to take the actions, to show up, and the confidence starts, comes. It doesn't usually come first and then you take action, right? Sometimes you've got to take action with courage, and then the confidence builds up.
Yeah. Confidence comes with acts of courage, and it gives us momentum. And it's not something you have to wait to have the confidence before you take action. It's something that comes. It's something from facing the fear, feeling that fear, and facing it as courage. So as I'm recording this, last week I performed in a live burlesque show for the first time in a long time, and debuted my new kind of persona and acts. And I really embraced the mindset of, this is excitement. Now think about it. Fear and excitement are very similar sensations in our body. And if your brain is telling your body that you're experiencing excitement, it is an entirely different experience than if your brain is telling your body that this is fear, that something bad could happen, that you should be afraid or worried, that maybe you shouldn't do it, that you should run away, and all these voices. I decided that my strong, fierce stage voice was going to overpower that voice of doubt and take on that act of courage. And I think, what I love about this clip, and I believe me, and this doesn't always happen, but believe me, I had so many notes. And you'll see, if you watch the vodcast on the YouTube channel, which you can also do here, just search Ruth Alade, and you'll find the vodcast episode on here. But I had pages of notes, and you'll see me looking down because I'm taking so many notes, and I'm holding my notes right now because I had so many notes from this episode. But I just love what Ruth describes in imposter syndrome as our choice. Now, I'm an advocate of choice of our response. We always have responsibility. And the example that Ruth uses is like going to a buffet. You can go to all the fried food, or you can go to all of the healthy salads and so on, and you choose where you choose to go. And the outcome of that is directly affected by the choices that you've made. So if you choose to overcome your limitations, if you choose to not compete with others, but to be truly authentic to your own message, then you will be more powerful, and you will resonate and connect with people. And in Ruth's case, Ruth is talking about sharing, messages around, selling and around being willing to fail and being able to put yourself out there in order to sell high ticket offers. But I would say that is true of anything you're doing, even if you're a full-time employee and you're looking for a promotion, or you're looking for a sideways move, or you're looking to, join a new company, or whatever it is. It's the same principles. It doesn't have to be that you have something to sell. So showing up boldly and, letting failure be an option and growing from that and not letting it hold you back is such a fundamental thing. But it is a practice, and it's not something, when people talk about it, it sounds like, oh, it's so easy and I can't do it, so what's wrong with me? It's not easy. It's never easy. That's why it's called a practice, right? Daily practice of gratitude, daily practice of, some kind of self-care or silence or meditation, or, those practices are practices because we have to keep on doing it. It's just like exercise. I'm living proof. I exercised all the way for 10 months in lockdown. I did a couple of hours a day of exercise because I do aerial, so I would do strength and stretch and dance. And so I was spending a lot of time, and I was really keeping up with my exercise. As soon as you stop doing it, as I did for 10 months, gone. And yeah, I still have some strength, and I still have some mobility, and I still have some um, bendiness. I can't think of the word right now, but some, I don't know. I can't think of the flexibility. That's the word. Then, yeah, I still have some of it, but it's gone. And over time, if I practice that behavior, then those are the results I'm going to get. However, if I practice a different mindset, if I practice a different, in this case, movement or self-care, I will get different results. And it's the same for all of us. It's not different. So when you think about, what choices that you're making, then consider, what voice are you listening to? Are you listening to one that's helpful? Are you trying to be a perfectionist, or are you allowing yourself to be perfectly imperfect? Are you aware even of the voice that you're listening to, and what you're practicing, and what you're reinforcing in yourself? Go and have a listen to the podcast episode. Join us on the community. We do challenges and, really support one another. Join us on confidencethroughcabaret.com. The member suite has just, I can't even tell you how amazing the wonderful people who contribute masterclasses are. I'm a training professional, so I make workbooks to make sure that there are actionable steps, and that you get the most out of the masterclasses and also the workshops. So it's all about play. It's all about experimenting. It's all about learning, and it's all about growing. And as Ruth says in the podcast, how long you stay down for, that's the defining moment. We all go down. We all have ups and downs, but how long do you stay down for? I'm so happy to have you here. Please like and subscribe below. Check out the other socials on Confidence Through Cabaret. The only ones that are not are Twitter, which is at YBYWYS, and I'm on Clubhouse at Heather YBYWYS, and that stands for It Is Your Body. It is your world, and it is your stage. Take up space, own it, enjoy it. I love having you here. I'll see you soon. Bye.